Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Leo January 14, 2023. Mars ends its retrograde cycle today, and there can be a pleasant turnaround of confidence with your goals, business, career, debts, support, and practical affairs. Where you're heading becomes clearer. Perhaps more importantly, you know what you want. Motivation levels may have dipped recently, but you're more inspired now. Career matters are likely to improve, whether this has to do with conditions, clarity, or confidence in your work and your broader goals. Blocks lift, and you find you begin to work more on your own terms. Where there was emotional distance or complication in business recently, there is now more directness. You can enjoy a stronger sense of direction and more time spent moving things forward instead of fixing or editing. Smoothing out rocky areas should come more naturally. You are more courageous and in a great position to manage and lead. For now, it's best to ease through this transition and not expect instant results. Consider, too, that Mercury is still retrograde until the 18th. The stars above are freezing in the night. Today, a major turning point is upon you. This is because mighty Mars, the red planet that rules sex, passion, anger, and war, will end his many months-long retrograde cycle. He will spend a tremendously long time in the skies of Gemini due to his backward and forward phases, which began as far back as last summer. In Gemini, Mars has taught karmic lessons about how we have approached sexual intimacy, as well as used words and communication as weapons in our relationships. Any matters that took place in recent months will be revisited as we now enter the post-shadow phase. Everything is going to be okay at work. Despite seeing the value in your work life, you may still feel stressed due to Venus in Aquarius forming a sextile to Chiron in Aries. You may need to move past any secret reservations about investing yourself in your work life. If you feel nervous about making the commitment, then think about what you can do to erect strong boundaries in place to ensure that everything remains stable and healthy. Given that Mars will station direct in Gemini later today, you could even feel more confident pursuing your career. In a case of perfect timing, on the same day that Venus, the planet of money, moves into her final 2 weeks in your work sector and just hours after Mars' direct turn in your career sector, the Moon returns for its first visit to your income sector for the year. As well as sharpening your nose for money as this new professional year gets the green light, the next few days will give you a window into the planets that will shape things across the income, work, and career fronts over the next 2 months. You will benefit from having variety in your exercise regimen. Boredom can make you give up on a practice that is essential to your health, so try and acquaint yourself with a few forms of exercise that you find challenging and enjoyable. There are literally hundreds of exercise apps and subscriptions on the market today, many of them free or of little cost. Try something that you've never done before but always wanted to learn. This will keep boredom at bay. You may discover many differences and innovative methods in which your family may explore their past in the present. This day offers you a boost to your artistic talents and expressiveness. Your main focus is often family and children. Through your creative and nurturing attitude, you will be more than able to communicate what you see as your true priorities in life. This day encourages you to deal with the areas in your life that you feel are of immediate concern. Just as the dwarf planet Eris is spending her first full day in direct motion in your financial sector, something that has given money matters the green light, Mars turns direct in your career sector. To have 2 planets turn direct in the space of just 24 hours is rare, but there are 2 more planets due to turn direct over the next 10 days, with this just a start of a trend. Just days after Mars' friendly aspect to Venus in your work sector, this is giving this new professional year the green light, which the Moon, as it returns for its first visit to your income sector for the year, will be keen to capitalize on. Nearly 8 months after returning to your relationship sector, the asteroid Juno, the queen of commitment and especially commitment to your relationships, leaves today, not to return for another 4 years. Juno was here as Jupiter came and went during 2022 and stayed on to work with Neptune to cement your relationship dreams and resolutions for the coming year. Normally only here for 3 months, Juno leaves with her job done. Our eyes in the sky. Action planet Mars turns direct in Gemini this afternoon, ending the retrograde story that began on October 30, 2022. We could feel a bit frustrated and out of sorts as Mars begins to wind down from its planetary moonwalk. However, we're just feeling the tail end of drama that we've been dealing with for months. Our energy can now be restored and revived for the first time in a long while. You find work-related issues easy to handle, and using your alert and active mind you apply fresh impetus to projects that require concentrated team effort. You encounter very few obstacles in your personal life. Whatever you choose to focus your attention on, others are enthused by your innovative approach and appreciate the concerted effort you make. Your ability to understand any situation is good, and you're able to undertake any sort of mental task. Equally, you're communicating without any difficulty, so possible negotiations or similar conversations turn out to be successful. You also find your general level of curiosity is heightened, and you're keen to acquire knowledge and learn as much as you can. If you enjoy buying yourself something new, go ahead and do it. You have the means to do so, and it's about time you treated yourself. Your finances allow you to make a small investment, and you are sensible enough not to overspend. Get out and strut your stuff. Feeling attractive, you're easily persuaded to make the most of your looks with a visit to the hairdresser or the health club. You're amazed at the transformation. Feeling even more appealing, when you meet up with others your attractiveness shines through. You're aware how people notice you. It's not your imagination. Mid-morning, Venus in Aquarius sextiles Chiron in Aries, helping to heal our hearts. Today's interactions stimulate reminders of wounds experienced in past relationships. It may not be a romantic wound, but a platonic one. Perhaps the betrayal of a friend, or being ostracized from a social circle. Yet today, the trigger feels softer. The lessons imparted are gentler. We might find ourselves entrenched in a similar dynamic with a friend who keeps us on the outs. Yet we can see that this is not the kind of alliance we wish to have in our lives. Alternatively, it may be that we are now part of the in crowd. We can welcome someone into our sphere and thus repair some of the karmic damage we incurred in our youth. Intensify contacts to people, because they find you particularly likable right now. Plan your leisure time with family and good friends, and most importantly, make your plans together. You might feel like ringing up an old friend. The time is perfect to revive and strengthen old ties. This will make it easy for you to make new contacts and maybe even lifelong friendships. In the early afternoon, Mars stations direct after nearly 2.5 months of being retrograde. During this time, we have had to contest with stalled projects, low libidos, weakened immune systems, and an inability to achieve progress in the causes that are important to us. Finally, these issues start to fall away as Mars begins its forward march. Take a mental inventory of the past few months and note lessons learned. We may have discovered that we were putting our energy behind work initiatives or relationships that were not worth the effort. Having received a clearer picture, we can proceed in the arenas where our actions are able to make a real impact.